what Vitality used to be.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And, that is interesting. So Vitality ban out the Ashe again. And they did that against Eminem. I don't think they did it the last time they played Coastline. But that means we've seen 4 Ashe bans today.
Tell you, man, they all think it's joystick.
Could it actually be joystick?
We'll have to phone him. We'll have to ring him up. We'll have to get his unique number code, which is printed on the back of his mechanical suit. Because of course he's a cyborg, as we know this.
Yeah, everyone knows.
So we kind of have to look at his unique number and see what really makes him tick.
So the rest of the bans coming through here. Supremacy going to ban out both shields as well. Monty and Clash going down, as well as Vitality banning out the Maestro. So I know already from casting Supremacy in the past that they just hate shields. And I think this is less of a, like, they think that actually going to be playing against shields, and more of, we just don't want to even deal with this right now. We don't have any specific bans in mind for Vitality. Maybe you might argue that shows a lack of prep work on their end, to actually know what they're going in here, but actually might also just show, we talked about this fluid playstyle from Vitality, and I feel like you can't go in a match against Vitality and expect them to just do the same thing they just did.
They seem to adapt a lot more on the fly. They see weaknesses and they kind of take advantage of that in their opposition. Another interesting ban that we never ever see is going to be that Montagna for Coastline. Yes, we may see Montagna on a map like Clubhouse, for example, where he's very dominant in taking certain areas of the map, but for Coastline, on a map which has so much destructibility, and we know that C4s from below are a must, it seems a bit weird for me that you're going to ban the shield that gets countered from that playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to take a shield here, the Blitz is still pretty fine, but it does serve a bit of a different purpose, I suppose. Also, I know, like, utility-wise it isn't amazing, but he does still bring smoke. He could bring the Fuse Shield. Also, just a note here as well, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's ever happened. But because there's no 6-pick now, you can actually pick your fruit.
Yeah. I'm going to take a pass on that one. I don't think
I'm just saying it could happen. You could see Shield Team 6 come out. That's why I'm putting it out there.
Don't think it. I think they're still just gonna, play to win the Challenger League, which is why they're here, James. Doesn't know.
You never know.
This isn't a show match, is it? Who knows? We'll see.
But going forward, we'll see Supremacy trying to take control of the map, and they are bringing the Bloodbath. That's pretty standard for Supremacy, and there's really not anything too special going on here. Although, honestly, these days you don't see that much Castle being played on this site.
No, well, we did see Trust play a lot of Castle in their game versus Eminem, but because there is so much soft destruction, you have Sledge, you have Sophia, don't have Ashit's banned, but still that would have been another factor to add in. You can have breaching charges from, for Twitch potentially. There's a lot of things that really play against Castle. Back in, I think, year 2, Castle, we've seen the real height of competition before Sophia was released. Whenever Sledge wasn't really played, because Clutch was always that dominating factor. Another interesting thing that we didn't talk about as well is Mira has been let through this match.
That's definitely interesting. The Coastline with Mira is very, very, very different than Coastline without a Mira, but no one seems to be taking advantage of that just yet. I would have honestly thought, without the 6-pick as well, you could have gone to Penthouse Theatre and taken a really different place. Grid through the vertical plate is going to pick up the first kill of the round. There goes Dacius, and one of the better fraggers as well, because Supremacy gone.
Always good to get that first blood, like we've talked about. It gives you that early momentum. It makes it the attackers in this scenario need to play a little bit more resourcefully. They need to really pick their moment alive in a very dangerous position on this window top, and he will start getting tagged by Sneaky from below. Live tried to pull a fast one, but Sneaky is ready for him with that UMP. 45 seconds on the clock. We still have Echo Drones available. Not a Blackbird available for the attackers, as they have not done their droning or their room clear out, as Qual is lurking inside of Logic, takes it, possibly try and challenge, but Jaeger's going to try and get the better off in this scenario, as both of them do refrag, shots back and forth, but eventually K6 will get the better in that engagement.
Stay back.
But the damage has already been done, the time has been run out enough, where Bridge surely, he can come in big with those toxic baits, and even Echo drones from Bibu. This is going to be a lockout round, and Supremacy try their best to move in, but of course those Echo drones are going to be there to stop everything that happens, and they just fall apart as Vitality holds strong as they take the first round in a very convincing fashion.
Just really poor drone work from Supremacy. They're getting flanked from luggage when they have a guy on Aquarium balcony and they have a guy in Aquarium as well.
That's a Nomad, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
We didn't use 2 air jabs.
So, massive mistakes coming out from Supremacy to allow flanks like that to happen. Kind of all over the place with Supremacy. Hopefully you'll be able to shake it off and go into the next round. And we'll see the Mirror come out for a kitchen service entrance defense. I'm kind of surprised that we're not seeing a Penthouse Theater defense, because it's very, very rare you see Penthouse Theater. But I think it's mostly because Mirror is almost 100% ban rate on coastline.
Yeah, Mirror, I think, just gets banned because if you look at that Penthouse defense, that's not playable without a Mirror. So if you're an attacker, you know, if you're starting on the attacking side first, you would like to buy out the Mirror because that means it limits the defenders to only 3 bomb sites. If you think about, in this scenario, Vitality can go right around the map. They can go for all 4 bomb sites if they choose so, simply because Mirror now makes that upstairs a viable pick. So maybe a bit of a misstep not going for that particular ban onto Mirror, and it really, I think, affects Supremacy. And like we've talked about, I think it was, but that's simply because I think they want more destructibility. Because I think Brid, he likes to have a lot of shotgun pellets for himself. And also, let's not forget, we can also see some setup from above, like we're seeing.
Yeah, no, that's a definitely good point. It also plays into coastline how destructible it is as well. Like, almost all this entire floor is Alive is actually going to get in here with a Twitch drone. Oh, didn't get it. Did he get it?
I think he did. I think I heard it. I think I heard the sound.
I
think I did. Or did I? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I think I'm willing to agree with you here, Demo.
Heard it.
I think he did get it. Yeah. I don't think I'm listening to anything. I think it is. He did get it. So, I mean, if he did get it, that's huge. And we'll see exactly how that's going to work out for the rest of the round. But it's about 1 minute late to go into the round. And other than that, we haven't really seen too much movement coming out. But already getting control of Sunrise is pretty big. We see that Liquid did this quite heavily during the initial, where they kind of just push in. They got control of kitchen. They got control of Sunrise. Had those prone angles into kitchen. They got to rotate and they just pushed through into the kitchen window and took control like that. And this could definitely be a really heavy strategy that could come through.
Supremacy will start taking control of that west side. I think Supremacy are falling back into that same trap of what we've seen them earlier this evening, where they weren't really sure what they wanted to attack. You want to see the air jabs being placed, one on that blue stairs, and then also one inside that courtyard. So this time they are going to try and watch their flanks. They know that Vitality like their late rotates. We know that Sneaky loves it on that Jaeger. And as Supremacy, they're going to start their approach. They're in the bomb site, but I'm sure that, yes, the Echo drone will start giving callouts. The easy wall bang from Bibu will be enough to put them in the dirt.
Yeah, beautifully done indeed. Bibu going to be coming through where he can as well. He's going to ring in, but it is going to get put away, of course, automatically in a few seconds. Deja's trying to make his way into the site, but it's going to be Tactics who just pick up a kill of his own. Qual goes down, and now it's a 3v3 situation. Still got smokes on the board, but the flank comes through from Spark. He does find a kill onto K6. Beautiful angle there from the courtyard. This is going very, very well. And Supremacy really running out of time here. Double smoke will come down as well from Tatis as he will try to move through into the site. No control of diffuser, however, Supremacy is going to be pretty bad from them. Do get the diffuser back, but Bibu takes down Tatis. It's all down to Deja in a 1v3. The Sophia tries to come down, but the ADS is going to take it down. Deja's still trying to play for the frags, but 10 seconds left on the clock. He has to find a kill. He knows where they are. He sees the frags, but can't manage to get the kill. He comes all the way through into courtyard. He's pistol out. He's got to get this kill. He's got to make a move, but he sees the mirror windows open. He's going to hold the angle. He can't find the kill. There we go. He gets the down, but can't confirm it. Vitality take round number 2. Beautifully done from them.
It seems to be we're falling back into the Supremacy of Villa that we seen earlier on tonight. Whenever Supremacy seem to come up a team which wants to go for the roam game and wants to go for the fight, they struggle quite a bit. If Alive isn't there ready to go for the kills and taking the fight, no one from Supremacy wants to hear tell of it. And that just plays into Vitality, where they love to run the clock down They have some of the best anchors in the game. Brit is arguably one of the best smokes we've seen. The amount of clutches this man has done, second to none. So, Supremacy, you need to get your head out of the ground, and you need to start moving.
You do need to start moving, indeed. There's been a lot of wasted time by Supremacy, and I think a lot of this has just come down to these one-on-one gunfights. Again, they kind of fall into the same failed strategies that Pac did, where they're kind of just pushing through from one side and trying to get hits, but they're losing a lot of gunfights, and then they're trying to rotate to other sides. And there's just so much roam control from Vitality. Finally, where we at them.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a rotation. And again, they can still, after this bomb site, go for that blue barn sunrise if they choose to. And looking at Vitality, the way they played against M&M on Border, they went for all of those rotations. They went for going for every bomb site they can just to keep their opposition on their toes and potentially try and catch them out. They will go for a very intriguing strategy simply because, yes, this is going to be a penthouse and theater that, looking at it from the bans, we were kind of expecting since Mira is available, but they're not even going to be bringing the Mira. And instead, they're going to try and play penthouse and theater very, very aggressive. Because if you look at the way that they've positioned themselves, they're playing for the long angles. They want to have these mini-cogs in great position. But unfortunately, DJs will already find one of those. The sneaky will fall. This is the same playstyle we've seen Vitality play last week as well. This time, Supremacy have their number.
Yeah, much better drone usage as well coming up from Supremacy as they managed to pick up two very important frags. I mean, the Alibi and the Rook going down, that's not a massive utility pick, but getting 2 picks on the board within a minute of the round starting, that's going to account for something with absolutely zero trade potential coming up from Vitality now as well. The Echo Drone's going to make its way back to the site. It's just going to scurry on by. And there we go, it is going to make its way back. Retreat to its home.
Still, there's potential. As long as Brid is alive, I always think Vitality have a chance with winning out that round because this man could do incredible things. Also, Bibu, who we kind of knew as being one of the best fraggers in Europe for quite some time. You know, he single-handedly kind of carried through Vitality a lot of rounds during last season. But in this new Vitality, he's kind of handed off that torch to the younger players. They've handed off the Sneaky. Instead, he's taken more of a support role. You know, he's playing Echo for a change. I think that will be different whenever we get onto the attack. But hey, if he's striking out the MP5 SD, then there's no reason to change him. DJs will find one more alive, that quick keep on the grid, and it's stuck inside a 1 versus 4. Baby will find 1 kill for his troubles, but really an impactless kill at the most, as the P229 instead of the bearing, and Alive will win that pistol gunfight. A high noon shutout goes in favor of Supremacy, and they finally get themselves on the board.
I really don't mind the Echo pistol here, honestly. This is a quick note. I think that the bearing has gotten worse somehow this patch as well. And it's becoming almost unbearable at this point. But we're going to be seeing how is it be going down.
Right, the full rotation. This is what we kind of expected from Vitality. Is them wanting to pick a map which has all 4 bomb sites viable. That's why I kind of think that maps that does have every bomb site viable, it's very scary to play against Vitality. You know, if it goes to Oregon, I think Vitality would kind of struggle with actually going for the full 4 rotations, and also the fact that Oregon, I think, kind of sways in favor of the attackers more times than none, so you never really see a 3rd bomb site, maybe the odd time, but never a 4th, really. But still, Vitality, they have all the momentum, they have the morale. It's only 1 round dropped, and the more rounds that they manage to pick up in the defense, I'm sure that the attacks will come a little bit more easier for themselves, because there's a lot of operators that I think Vitality love to play that fit so well with the way that Cosign is played. Vitality are a big fan of their frag grenade operators. We've seen Buck and Sledge being picked by the same lineup multiple times as well. They like having that capability off the explosives, and I'm sure on a map like Coastline, which does have great nade positions, that'll probably be no difference at all.
It's interesting that we're seeing the Jackal and the Dockerbee. Do you think he's running Dockerbee flashes again? No. Okay. That's fine. Was it?
Dockerbee have flashes?
Yeah, it's flashes and smokes.
I thought you'd play them.
No. It's definitely flashbangs because someone else was using flashbangs earlier on coastline. During our earlier match on coastline. It was Saves who was doing it for a minute. So yeah, interesting how it's going to go down here. But it's going to be Spark with the first kill of the round. Alive is going to go down. And it's going to be a 4v5 situation.
Deju's still alive, and he may be looking to see what he can do. He's kind of been this shining light for Supremacy. He's gotten some of those first bloods. He's picked up some pretty important frags for himself. But still, kind of decided they're going to be stacked up, and certainly with that Inox, he managed to find one pink and almost indefinitely help with that final push in for these frags. And I think Jackal is in a great position at the moment in meta, especially whenever defenders have so much capability in terms of roam game. Having the combo of the Jackal with another operator pushing in aggressively, I think it's great. He also provides that destructibility factor with that sidearm shotgun that we talk about. And again, everybody's worst nightmare is going to be a Dokkaebi phone call into a Jackal trap.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot during the Eminem match against Trust, and yeah, it does speak volumes about how effective Jackal can be on a map like Coastline, especially any map that has a lot of soft restriction. There's not a huge amount of soft restriction from Supremacy. I don't think that's going to hurt them that much, but having 4 smokes is not a massively bad idea, although without the glass, I think it's kind of unnecessary in a way.
Activating override.
Yeah, Glaz is again in a very awkward position. I think he has his moments on certain bomb sites, not certain maps, certain bomb sites. For example, I think Clubhouse is a good map for Glaz because he is very aggressive in taking control of those top floor areas. But for a map like Coastline, he has his moments. I think the Aquarium is his most suited bomb site because he can simply walk in, cover the plant. But whenever Supremacy know that Vitality go for every bomb site and they just rotate it in fashion, then I can see why they're picking an operator lineup that works for every bomb site.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be coming down from Briz. BB and Sneaky both pick up kills of their own. And Sneaky runs all the way into the kitchen through the rotate. Poseidon just gets completely caught out there. Beautiful rotate coming out from Sneaky here as well. Absolutely amazingly done from him.
We head into run number 5, and at the moment we have seen every single bomb site played by Vitality. Only 3 of those have been defended. The only slip-up that they did have was on that penthouse where Supremacy kind of tore that limb from limb. They will head to their kitchen, which was their second pick bomb site, so they had the hookah available for themselves, but they're not going to go for that. I always kind of find that interesting from Vitality's tactics, is that they never go for the same rotation. They want to try and keep Supremacy on their toes as much as they can. I'm sure Supremacy were probably thinking, okay, that's all four bomb sites being played. They'll probably go back to their first one, which would be the hookah. So maybe they're now prepping for a hookah attack, but realistically, kitchen was open for Vitality, and arguably Vitality had a great kitchen hold.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I'm also thinking about here, again, there's no stick pick, so you can't exactly bait someone into a different site, and you can't exactly tell what site they might be going to with the lineup that they're bringing. Especially with, like, Castle being used here, you think that if there's a Castle being brought, okay, maybe they're going to be going Kitchen over Billiards then, or maybe they'll go back to Billiards because they ran Castle there before, but yeah, no, it's kind of interesting how that's kind of layers being removed, but it adds in another layer where you have to now think about, okay, we have to go back and think about where they're going to attack. But yeah, I think you're definitely right, they're probably going to go back to the first site, and Supremacy will prepare for that, but we now see the book coming out from them. But this is pretty much the line they were taking to attack here the first time, but they did bring the Twitch last time, they're not bringing the Twitch this time, and that's kind of weird considering how successful the Twitch was.
I think it's possibly to play into the fact that Mira really hasn't done anything for Vitality. You know, the Mira window, sure, they're there, but I think a lot of teams have still adapted. They know how to play around the Mira window, and especially on a map like Kitchen, or not a map like Kitchen, a bomb site like Kitchen is good combo there from Supremacy, but unfortunately the refry comes in and does nail Alive in the back. But going back to that Mira, if you look at the Mira windows you can play inside a kitchen and service entrance, they're all destructible from above. All it takes is one sledgehammer, and that's it, done. That you cannot play behind that Mira window no longer.
Oh, that was such a terrible play coming out. Why is the Capitao the person who's entering there? You have so many people who were... Like, Capitao is the only person here who has to be alive for the push, right? He's the only person who has smokes. He's the only person you can, like, deny a retake coming through. Otherwise, you have 4 nades to try and do that, I suppose, but... I don't understand why Capitao is the person who's trying to entry there. That's just not really good by Supremacy at all. Sneaky's going to pick up a kill on the other side of the map, however, in Sunrise Bar. K6 goes down. That's going to deny Sunrise being taken over by Supremacy. And now they're in a really losing situation because Braid with the shotgun is going to take out Tatis. Now it's all down to Poseidon and Dejuz to try and bring this in here. But he is going to be playing around Courtyard. He does pick up 1 to Spark. So he has even the score by just a little bit here in a 2v3. And we just got about a minute left to go on the clock as well. Still plenty of utility remaining as well for Supremacy across the board. That is a really bad place to start droning because you can kick out of there. And Poseidon not paying attention there. He's going to take on, but oh, great ping doing out from Supremacy. They just gets the wall bank onto Qual and turns it into a 1v2. He can recover his teammate. He can even the scoreboard out. He still has plenty of time to work with as well, but he's starting to run out of that time. He has to try and make a move here. Sophia charge to give him a little bit more space to push in. He goes all the way through, he recovers the diffuser, and he does get up beside him as well, so he's brought into a 2v2. Smokes are going to go out onto the front door, and 30 seconds left to go on the clock. All smokes are going to go out, but he's still got under the Sophia charge. That's going to go out as well, as they try to get into the site. Poseidon going to go through onto the kitchen window here, but no. Sneaky from the hallway takes out Dejuz. It's all down to Poseidon. A 1v2, still has a nade left remaining, still has a skeleton key left remaining as well, but can't use either as Brit takes him down and Vitality take round number 5. This is looking pretty decisive for Vitality right now.
If Vitality take this next round, they will then lead 5 rounds to 1. I don't see Supremacy coming back from such a massive deficit. Sure, we've seen them do that against End, where their defenses were very strong, but this isn't End game when you're playing. This is Vitality. A team who arguably, whenever we see their attacks, have looked so clinical. Their executions have been second to none. Probably the best executions I think we have seen inside a Challenger League so far. So if you put that in comparison to how Supremacy have been executing, Vitality trumped them and marched them down up and down the pitch all day of the week. So I do start to worry for Supremacy, and this round is a much needed one. Just like End Gaming, whenever they played Supremacy, whenever they needed an extra round just to give them at least a fighting chance going into the second half.
Is Coastline defender side all of a sudden today?
I think it has been for quite a while, because for some reason, teams haven't been picking those massive power playing operators. I always thought whenever Glaz, Dokkaebi, Jackal, Blackbeard, Ying, if they're all available, how can you as a defender win that? All of a sudden, teams don't really take those lineups anymore. Teams don't really play with Glaz or Ying. Only specific players on certain teams, but it's not a universal thing like it used to be. Even Dokkaebi has seen a big drop in play, which I'm quite surprised about.
Yeah, that is true. I think there's been not that much adaptation from Supremacy, but they have changed up a little bit more than they did on Villa, which is nice to see. I still think that the Jackal strategy is kind of interesting too. I think it works a little bit better on like Penthouse Theater, because there's a lot more opportunity to abuse the vertical play, especially if you're going into this attack and you're expecting a mirror on the board, which normally Penthouse Theater is being defended by, and that's normally also why you hardly ever see this being played, because normally mirror is banned, right?
Looking at Vitality and their setup for their second attempt at a Penthouse, Supremacy did have a good chance of that, but they will get themselves up to first blood as Alive will find Sneaky. That's going to be the Legion gone, but they still have some players to find yet. They've kind of changed up their strategy. Last time, they played very heavy in towards that Village Room. It didn't work out for them, as Supremacy knew exactly what they were expecting, and they've kind of reverted their resources in towards this VIP. They've reinforced the VIP walls. However, it's been a complete bloodbath as Supremacy. They've picked up 2 quick kills and at least Spark and Qual in the clutch position.
What a great roam clear there in the VIP by Supremacy, just absolutely dominating that. And as you said, that was an absolute bloodbath. Really well played by them, and Vitality now on the back foot of this defense now as we move further in. Just about a minute left to go on the clock as well. And just really no utility available for Vitality. They're going to have to try and go for frags here. They're going to have to try and play the timer out. And they don't actually have many reinforcements either, and Dejuz is going to force him to peek, and we'll take him down. So that's Spark. for potentially clutchable. As he goes for the pre-fire, but no, he can't land the shots, but neither can the IQ. Still trying to land the shots, but no, Days just moves through the rotate and will take him down. There we go, Supremacy takes down round number 6, and now we see a 4-2 scoreline, so now it's actually looking, it's looking okay for Supremacy, I would say.
There's potential. There certainly is potential, and whenever we know Supremacy are very strong in their defense, they're very clinical in their roam game and the way that they progress throughout the map, and they kind of take it step by step, and where their setup comes in from, the roam game, again, I think worked very well. Their synergy, as well, is something you have to keep in mind. Alive is always going to be dominant on a Jaeger, and whenever you pair him up with different intel gathering operators, like we're seeing Pulse and Valkyrie and Echo all being picked, they can all be used in conjunction to support Alive, who's really that star player for Supremacy. On the flip side, Vitality, now they get their hand at their attacks. Their attacks have always been some of the most dominating that Siege, I think, has ever seen. Vitality really set their own unique playstyle, stamped it down hard on everybody they played against. But since then, like we discussed, there's been a complete re-change. There's no longer that same slow mentality that Vitality always had. Now we're having a much more flexible, they have the fluidness to really make their, yes, slow attacks work even better in their execution. Instead of planting at the 1 second mark, they're now planting at the 30-second mark while also being able to check up everything they had previously already wanted to do.
Yeah, we talked about the checklist from Vitality. We talked a little bit about it in the pre-game as well. It's kind of more about the old Vitality than the new Vitality, but still, most attacks tend to go like that, and working on a checklist like that can help coordinate your attacks a little bit better. I'm still not sure what to think about a Dokkaebi, right? Because I really don't think Dokkaebi is as strong as she used to be with the recent nerf that she got.
Yeah. And especially whenever Mute has seen such a rise in play, who's a big counter to Dokkaebi as well, you have to remember.
Yeah, and I think that the main reason you take a Dokkaebi in your lineup is mostly for smokes, not for, like, her utility, right? Like, her utility's good and all, and her weapons are okay, but it's mostly for the smokes, and you need a smoke in your lineup, but, like, a Capitao and a Jackal work just as good here, especially if you have a Buck as well. We already talked a little bit about that relationship. I
love the Jackal Buck combo. I think it's a really annoying. Maybe we could have seen Jackal, Buck, and Dokkaebi combo, because that's literally the living reincarnation of your worst nightmare, just pounced upon you. But Vitality have already started off with their destructibility. They have got inside of that master bedroom and VIP thing, locked it down pretty well, also find a kill for their troubles, so that's a star player Alive off the board. However, a bit of fight back from Supremacy. Dejuice from the hole being made by Qual will come in to bite him. That's a massive kill, however. A couple of pings come in, and Bibi will start working himself where his teammate could not.
Yeah, lots of drones Argus coming out from Vitality. They're going to desperately try to gain that map control here. As Deju's going to finally go down to Sneaky's impact. It's unfortunate for him as well. Deciding just holding down as a service entrance, seeing what he can do here. But we're not seeing too much movement coming out from Vitality just yet. They have the control they need. They have everything they need on the moment to go for this attack. And they have that man advantage as well. But they have lost that Buck. They've lost a lot of self-destruction. Rotates are going to come through from the Valkyrie on K6. No Nitro Cell left remaining on the clock either. So not a huge amount of plant. And we still have Echo drones up as well. And that's vital for the information moving into these last few seconds.
Actus just using that Echo drone more as a normal drone, peeking in and out, doesn't want to put himself at a risk of an IQ looking up at the roof. That's the last place IQ looks for an Echo drone, is on the ground. A couple of utility will be sent in by Sneaky, but still, they're going to hold their ground. Tactus will spot the planter, that will be stopped for the meantime. Sneaky still active inside of the bomb site as K6 looking for a long angle, but doesn't find anything from it. The side up puts the personal with a shotgun blast spread in the face, and also finds another informed kill. Bibu above doesn't give the cover, and it's all came crashing down for Vitality. Supremacy, a miraculous save from the Valkyrie and from the smoke. Vitality, poor coverage from Bibu.
I just don't understand how he's allowed to do that. The whole point of them opening up that Habana, I thought, was to stop them from doing things like that. And I don't know, Vitality had everything going for them. And then, honestly, yeah, as you said, that was almost entirely on Bibu. I don't know what was happening with him up there. I think that he was getting pushed, or maybe he thought he was getting pushed, or
I think he missed his shots.
I think
he just missed it, yeah.
But I mean, he was there for ages. That's really disappointing. Yeah, wow. Well, anyway, we are going to move on here, and we're going to see how it's going down, but that is disappointing for Vitality. But they did just show how well that Vitality can go for this execute, but things are going right for them. The execute is correct. But moving into round number 8, we are going to see a Billiards defense going through here, and we are going to see again the castle coming out for this. Now, when M&M defended here, they never brought a castle, but Trust did, and now both of these teams are bringing a castle for this defense.
Yeah, even if we look back at the M&M Trust, and you look at the terms of what bomb sites were being played, it was a very spread out between 3 bomb sites. Kitchen, Hookah, Blue Bar. We never really seen that penthouse that Vitality have really set themselves up for. But for the most part, I think Hookah and Kitchen were the most played bomb sites, I think, being split together with 4 each. And then Kitchen picking up the other 3. So certainly, I think that there's a part of me that thinks Blue Bar. I think a lot of teams really like that. But at the same time, Hookah and Blue Bar play out very similarly. You know, they're both the exact same. All the attackers need to do is open up a wall and walk in and plant. It's pretty much a similar way of... I believe it's kind of what map is it Consulate, I think, is kind of how mid-4 is defended similar to how top 4 is being held. There's kind of that comparison between both bomb sites.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. They kind of walk in and plant, but a lot of that comes off the smokes, and we've seen really poor Capital uses from both teams, and we haven't seen any Capital coming out from Vitality, but then we had the Capital just thrown away by Supremacy on an entry frag, so basically no reason. So, I mean, I don't know, I don't think these pushes have gone very well, and I think the smoke usage hasn't been great either, but Spark is going to pick up the first kill of the round. There you go, Dejas is going to go down immediately, but alive with a run out from the front door. Spark is going to go down instantly, traded great communication with Supremacy to get that trade.
Still, it's going to be even Stevens at the moment, as they have lost Spark and Dejas respectively on both sides, but there's still a boatload of utility available for the players of Vitality, as K6 looking to play aggressive along with Alive. Have to play with that MPX, but that's going to be no match for the C8. Bit of a stupid challenge nonetheless, but was stuck between a rock and a hard place, as Alive is still aggressive on the castle. Let's see what he can pull out of his hat, as Supremacy are on dire straits, as Vitality are only starting to get started with their final push in. Sneaky still has 2 of his concussion mines, and that will provide great intel, also along with the concussion factor that you get from the Sophia launch.
Yeah, and Tatius is also running the PT29 here, so we're checking PT29.
Swapping mags!
We're not in Challenger League, so there you go. These people are taking it, and you're not, so there you go. I still think that it's like, the bearing is just really hard to control. If you're tap firing, you might as well just bring a pistol anyway. It has pretty consistent damage, so we'll see how that goes through. Oh my god, this is not looking good for Tatius. That was almost the Echo Dead immediately, with how aggressive he was speaking that. Oh, he just gets all the way in. Oh, BB just runs at him. Gets straight up his net. Poseidon goes down, and does Tactics as well. It's all down to Alive in a 1v4 clutch situation to try and bring in the round. The Diffuser will go down successfully from Brid. Now Alive is going all the way through for him. He does manage to pick up BB, but the Diffuser is far away from him right now. He's going to have to find 3 more frags. I think Qual's actually injured. Yeah, he is. Okay, so there's 2 more frags. Oh, he almost got it. How is that not a headshot? Oh, he just about missed it. Just filled his neck with bullets. And Vitality will take the round.
Yeah, that's just, I think, clinical from Vitality, what we expected. They went through their checklist. They cleared out the rumors. They still did have Alive, but again, Alive either had the choice of trying to go up against a gunfight against Qual, who has been absolutely dominating on the buck, or he runs away, and he did run away in that scenario, which gives Vitality the green light to start with their smoke canisters and just walk in and go for the plant in Vitality fashion. I think it's just the way that Vitality plan out their steps, make it very heavy on the minds of Supremacy. As soon as Supremacy know that they've given control of the area that Vitality wants, then it's so hard to stop Vitality going for a plant, because that is what they're known for, is those clinical executions. So for Supremacy, you're down 2 rounds. There's still potential here for the comeback. We've seen Supremacy pull back rounds on their defense. But the main thing for me is that they're still lacking those C4s from below, which I would still like to see more of on a map like Coastline. Maybe K6 might surprise us, especially whenever he is playing on the Valkyrie. They're playing for the Valkyrie simply because of the intel and the Nitro Cell. But at the same time, I would personally like to see the Pulse over the Valkyrie, because surely at this stage, Supremacy should know that Vitality always bring the IQ, simply for the Echo Drones.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk a little bit about Villa during Supremacy's last match about taking the IQ for the Echo Drones, but then you kind of realize they're not even taking Echo in the first place. You don't necessarily need the IQ, but then I think it's always a possibility, so you really have to bring the IQ, and you also got Legion to deal with. You've also, like Coastline's a great map for vertical play, and we did talk a little bit on Villa about how taking ADSs down vertically can actually give you a massive advantage in terms of like going for plays. So we saw that a lot from Vitality, where they went to the last second and they make the plays, right? They're like rushing all the way into the site to try and get a kill. So yeah, looking very good.
Looking at Vitality, they begin their approach in towards that penthouse. There is a little bit of a maze being made by Supremacy with Alive and those castle barricades, trying to funnel in his attackers into a specific choke point. Then they can play aggressive off that. They have decided to forfeit this entire setup and give Vitality the go-ahead to take what they want and do as they please. So if you're Vitality in this scenario, you have to, again, still stick with the plan. And for this plan, it is then, next up, take control of Aquarium. That's going to be where they want to target. There will a Valkyrie camera being thrown inside of the round by K6, so he could try and go for a C4 in Aquarium to at least get something for his team, give them something to play off of. And again, as this hole being made, we could see a lob from a C4, or he could play it to try and kill an attacker as he starts to approach. Alive supporting him as well, so he is in safe hands at the meantime. Spark will start to push in, get rid of those goo mines that, of course, we know can be crucial in that sound queue, and also denying a potential plant. And of course, you have Poseidon with another Nitro Cell that can be flung at any moment. But a lot of work to do for Vitality, as Supremacy, they're staying strong.
The issue is there's no, like, echo, there's no smoke, there's no, like, passive plant denial. You have to be pretty aggressive with the C4 to get it off successfully. It is strong, and you do mention that quite a lot, but I still think that you still need the smoke to support that and allow you to line up a C4, but smokes are going to start to go out onto the site. Drones are going to be answered by K6, but the plant is going to start to go down by Brid. He might be able to get away with this, actually, as Dangerous and Poseidon both get kills on their own. There goes the C4, but no Qual from below is going to be able to take down one. It's a 5v2. Well, basically a 4v2. As, oh no! Alive jumps out of the blue bar. He takes it down beside and finishes things off on the Bibu, cleans it up. As Supremacy take round number 9 in a very successful defense. Great usage of just utility overall. I mean, the C4 came through very well.
So that was, again, another great round, you have to admit, from Supremacy. They really stuck themselves out there. I think they kind of baited Vitality, thinking that, oh, they've given us free real estate. We've done our checklist. We've took control of the area we wanted to. But in that scenario, they then didn't go ahead and take control of downstairs. They still left Rumors untouched, which is maybe a bit of a recurring theme we may see from Vitality that I think they need to stamp out quick, and that is getting in the mindset, if you've took the area that the strat follows, that doesn't mean that Rumors aren't going to be somewhere else. If you know they're not going to be playing inside of that penthouse and theater, then the obvious explanation is then they're playing inside of office to try and go for the C4s. You know they have a Valkyrie, you got that intel from the IQ. You should be expecting that. A bit of sloppiness, I think, from Vitality to say the least.
Yeah, I guess, but I think that Vitality's just been doing really badly to get early picks, which is kind of a weird way in which Coastline goes for them. I mean, look at how they played Coastline in Pro League as well. It kind of went the same way, where they weren't getting any picks early on, and I really think you have to start doing that to defenders early on to stop those kind of like last-second pushes and those last-second nitros and smokes and that was a real crux of Vitality's strategy at an earlier point.
We will see the Vitality once again take from the bedroom side. They do this every single time, but for this one, in good sense, simply because this is going to be right above the kitchen, so they can go ahead and get Qual in. But last time, it was a bit of a weird round, you have to say, James. They opened up upstairs, the plant looked good, but Bibu was that misstep in the Vitality Tango.
They definitely did do a bit of... Wow, what a great bait of the Pulse Nitro coming out, just sitting on the bed. I'm really surprised that they just even tried to go for that, but what a massive waste of a really vital C4 that we've seen so many times come in and do really well for Dejas and other players on Supremacy, but not today apparently. As you see that vertical control going very, very well into their favor. Only one Nitro left remaining on the clock as well, as we still have plenty of planting now, though we do still have smokes as well. But last time for Vitality, they screwed this up big time, as you mentioned. They had so much control. They had everything they needed to, but it just didn't go their way at all.
Wall will start to open up, and this time he hasn't died. This time, during the last time they attacked Kitchen, he was dead, so they didn't have that shotgun available to themselves, and then they kind of had to stick Bibu on this position that Qual should have been playing. Hasn't been challenged, so they know that B-bomb at the moment is clear, but there is still one defender lurking inside of bathroom. Surprised that Vitality haven't droned him in. Qual, you do see a figure, and you will finish off Deju's. Well done to the butt. He did what Bibu could not. Ed gets tossed in just to try and cover that. So this is looking so good for Vitality. I don't think they'll slip up from here. This is just vintage Vitality at its finest. They have the setup done, they have the coverage, they have the utility, and the plant will start to come in.
Yeah, they have everything they need to do. Bridge will start to plant the diffuser as well. 3v4. The Echo will try and deny it, but going down, he will do successfully now. The plant will start to go down. More Poseidon with the smoke, though, will finish him off. Alive will try to go and regain that vertical control. He'll do so successfully. This is all starting to fall apart now, as both members left remaining on Vitality on a sliver of HP. The plant will start to go again down, but no, Tatsis will be able to trade it off instantly. 3v1 now, but Alive will clean it up. Supremacy will take round above 10, looking much, much better.
Well, Supremacy pulls it out of the bag. I thought that was a sure win for Vitality, you have to admit. In that scenario, you could only ever see that going Vitality's way, but Supremacy, their retake, their defense, Supremacy's defense has been absolutely impeccable today. Even on Villa and even on Coastline, I think we may be headed to a draw the way things are shaping up.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams are very, very even, but no matter, this game will go the entire distance. We'll see every round played out. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we were expecting. We were talking a little bit off stream before the game. We were thinking about how, depending on map, it's probably going to be a draw, or it's going to be 7-5 one side or the other. These are two of the best teams in Challenge League right now. They're two of the best teams overall in Europe, I would say. And, you know, they're very familiar with each other. So, I mean, when you're very familiar with the other team, you're very familiar with each other, I think most of it's just going to come down to gun skill. And I think these teams are pretty even doing that.
So we head into our blue bar, which we haven't seen at the moment from Supremacy. So this is going to be a new patch for themselves and also a new attack for Vitality. Looking at the way that we kind of seen Vitality defend their blue bar, which they did win, keep in mind as well, as they've only seen blue bar once being played from Vitality. And they kind of played a very aggressive. They had a group roam game, I thought, and kind of expect that from Vitality whenever they're playing with sneaky. Supremacy also will be having a bit of a roam game, as they're going to be set up inside of Kitchen. If K6 playing aggressive inside of Kitchen, has the Nitro Cell as well, could potentially use that as plant denial, but as a roamer, I think he's going to try and use that to take the fight against some of these attackers.
Well, we talked a lot about this during the M&M game as well, and there was a real disadvantage of their defense, right? It was the only time that they lost a big defense pretty substantially was when they went to defend blue bar. They'd have no kitchen presence whatsoever, and they lost that instantly. So you really need to have quite a lot of utility and quite a lot of stuff going into the kitchen. We'll see exactly that. They're just going to be trying to play above as well. Wall's in here next to him. Where's the drone? What just happened? Oh no, losing your book that early on, that's a disaster for Vitality. How does that happen, Dem?
Hey, you just don't win your gunfights. Or maybe it's
That's
just...
just disappointing.
Maybe he's not communicating in French, who knows? Maybe there's been a bit of a communication
Some English
breakdown.
call that's coming out, yeah.
No,
UK
he could
channel.
just randomly call some UK slang. Which I don't think we can say some of the stuff the UK say on stream. I don't think we can do that. So we'll leave it how it is. But still, I think it's interesting to see that Supremacy are going to be picking up the mirror for this bomb site. Whenever this is a bomb site, that once you take upstairs control, you can eliminate the mirror windows. So, like you say, they've already done. So I don't really understand the reasoning why you're going to go for it if you're going to put heavily invested time. I would have liked to see the mirror windows be used to held upstairs.
Yeah, you could also argue that, and with the castle it just makes sense, but what you got to remember as well, you could also play these mirrors very easily in reverse, and the fact that there's no courtyard push coming out right now means that it's very possible for them to do this, and it looks like it's going to be a sunrise take for Vitality. They have pretty much everything set up for it, and Logic Bombs will be deployed to signal that. They have the rotate cut off, everything Vitality needs to make this execute go well for them. Smokes are going to go out, Bridge is going to try and plant the diffuser down. This is looking pretty successful so far. Spark holds on, but there goes Poseidon. Tries to go around, but K6 will trade it out. Instant diffuser will go down successfully, regardless of that. Starts to do its work, but from above, there we go. Beautiful kill coming out from Sneaky. Now in a 2v3 situation. Nitro should come out, but no, not going to find his mark. Live going to try and move up onto the pool upstairs and see what he can do to try and regain control. Sees the Claymore, takes it down, and tries to move up. Sneaky is ready for him, and he will take him down. Beautiful from him, but Tatis is left alone. No, VB will make sure he can't do anything. Vitality will put themselves on match point, and they've secured at least the draw.
Finally, we get to see one of Vitality's pushes work in conjunction with each other. And that does mean that Blue Bar Supremacy's defense just didn't work out for themselves. They finally rectified their mistakes. They've looked at it and they've seen what was the one thing that was really killing us. Oh yeah, the coverage from above was massive, and even though they did lose their buck early on, Sophia made enough holes for herself to make it work. Maybe having a Nomad for Vitality to cover those flanks, which they kind of did seem a little bit weaker on in some of the other rounds, could have come in pretty big for themselves. But we move into our final round of this evening. At least Vitality will walk away with a draw, or could we see the full win for themselves, or will Supremacy stay unbeaten inside of Challenger League and pull themselves back to, yet again, another draw this season for themselves?
It's a sunrise. Oh, sorry, no, it's not sunrise. Okay. It's Billions defense, right? So, like, this is kind of been very 50-50 so far. I think this is mostly going to be coming down to Vitality making those last second pushes and seeing what they can do there on that kind of like entry.
Well, we have seen Hookah Lounge being defended 3 times already. This is going to be the 4th time. And in those bomb sites we've seen defended, Vitality won it once. And then Supremacy, they managed to win it once, but also lose it once. So they do have a 50-50 for Supremacy at the moment. But still, it looks to be that defense is still very favored, simply because you have so much utility being available. You have C4s, you have smoke canisters. If Echo was brought, that would have been another reason why you would have one. But interestingly, we're going to see the alibi being picked up for the first time inside this matchup. We did see Citizen for Eminem play this operator in both of his matches, but I'm curious to see what Supremacy have in store for their bomb site on Coastline.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting indeed to see how exactly that's going to go down as Vitality trying to make their way into the site and see what they can do here, but about a minute left to go. Sorry, a minute into the round, and they've already done quite a lot of damage, and they've gotten a lot of control where they could. And they've got, more importantly, a lot of utility left remaining. And I think that the most successful Vitality push is coming down is when they're at least in a, like, they've got all of their members up, but at least one pin on the other side as well.
Once again, Vitality, from their beginnings, they have always took from east side. They take control of Master D, try and go for the hunt on the roamers, but the last time Supremacy defended Puka, they kind of caught Vitality by surprise. They did all their setup in towards that penthouse and theater, but they had nobody playing in it, because then they reverted to go for the downstairs hold and try and play in towards the Blue Barn office and have K6 with the C4 from below. They're going to do the exact same thing. They're going to give Vitality the go-ahead. there's always a little bit of presence and those ACOG angles being held, but still, nonetheless, Vitality, they have control of what they wanted, but they need to take from below. Last time they didn't take from below, K6 got a C4 kill. This shouldn't happen again. If it does, Vitality, you will lose this round.
Yeah, they will lose this, but oh, baby, with a great entry, they're just going to go down. One of the more powerful fraggers, but more important, that's the Legion off the board. That's a pretty big pick considering how late in the round we're going to. There's no smoke, there's no echo on the board, but of course, this is a very similar strategy coming out from Supremacy than they did last time. And it's going to be all about the Nitros, in my opinion. Nitro is going to go up, and he does find his mark. There we go, Qual's going to go down. And now it's a 4v4. No big calls do go out. Poseidon left alone with the last C4, takes it out at the wrong time. Spark shuts him down before he can do anything with it. The diffuser is going to start going down. BB with the pistol out. He's going to try and push out to Cool Vibes to try and get a kill. He's denied the push coming down, but BB will get the kill. He's all down to Alive in a 1v3. Can't find one. And Spark will eliminate him. Alive goes down, and Vitality will take the series 7-5.
Well, Vitality, they seen the weaknesses. The anchors on the bomb site didn't do the job. They got the first early picks. Unfortunately, I think for K6 and the way Supremacy played that with their C4 from below, they used a little bit prematurely. Yes, they got a kill, but it wasn't a decisive one. If that was a kill onto a planter, then we could have seen a different outcome. But in that scenario, I think it's always better for them to hold on to that C4 to go for the planter. So looking at it, yes, Supremacy, there were some great things. I think their defense really shown how strong they are, but overall, Vitality,